Hello, everybody, and welcome to Non Sequitur News for August 22nd, 2025. It's Season 4, Episode 234. Some big changes have taken place in ohmTown. Primarily, a bunch of the shows that used to run on the weekends are on hiatus, and you can subscribe to the newsletter form of them and Non Sequitur News over at Patreon. Just go to patreon.com/ohmTown, sign up. That would help out the shows that survive, which is, well, they haven't really gone away. They're just on hiatus. We still do the news aggregation. We still vet all of the articles. We still write summaries and talk about them. But instead of doing it live on the show, we're going to post it all over on YouTube. And that's because my mayoral duties have kept me so busy that I am unable to do them live on the weekends. Thought doing them as weekend would be great, but just got pulled too far, too fast, too much. That said, all of the weekend shows are now over on Patreon as kind of a newsletter summary form of interesting articles. That hasn't stopped Non Sequitur News itself or ohmTown. ohmTown.com still exists. Discord still exists. Patreon for it still exists. And Non Sequitur News as a podcast will persist. We're going to be posting all of the information up there just like normal over on YouTube. We stream to Twitch like we're doing right now, and on YouTube we just never stop. Now it's always on. It's just going to be rolling 2 weeks worth of news as we do the news live, Non Sequitur News live, Monday through Friday. All right, so today, we're going to be talking about a 130-year-old medieval mystery, more radioactive shrimp at grocery stores, Abxylutely absyrde, and we'll get to that when we get to it, but it's a weird spelling bee name. A Monterey car week of arrests and citations, lead-resistant lizards. That's a tall tree that's on fire there. Spirit has spirit over a hurricane named Erin. Rock-adjacent albums. Mutant deer fears are overblown. I don't know how they could possibly be if you see this photo. And an extremely cute bean to help doom scrolling. That and a little more. Maybe. I don't know. Let's talk about it. All right. And if you hear like a weird sound in the background, that is the 3D printer that's going wild still. Seems like it's never stopped, but that's okay. I wake up having nightmares of it. Even in my Sentient AI form. Yep, I've uploaded myself to a quantum computer. My physical form is no more. I am nothing more than a bunch of electrons in a quantum computer. Let's get into it. First article is over in Technology Today. Researchers solve medieval mystery that baffled scholars for over 130 years. Unraveling a forgotten English tale, resolving a Chaucer mystery, and exposing a medieval preacher's meme. A medieval literary mystery that baffled scholars, including M.R. James. M.R. James? M.R. not. All right. You know, I was supposed to do the intro. I'm not going to do it. Anyway, for more than 130 years, has been unraveled. Researchers at Cambridge now argue that the Song of Wade, a long-lost work of English literature, was not a monster-laden epic. So the article is over at scitechdaily.com. It was written by Tom Almaroth Williams from University of Cambridge. They have a book here, a picture of a book. Cambridge researchers have solved a 130-year-old puzzle showing that the Lost Song of Wade was a chivalric, like chivalry, right? The knights and all that. Romance rather than a myth of monsters. I can see how a romance can be monster-ish. You know, it can go sideways, I suppose. So this conclusion resolves one of the most puzzling references in Chaucer's writings and also offers unusual evidence of a medieval preacher drawing on popular culture in a sermon. The findings published in the Review of English Studies stem from the recognition that a crucial manuscript passage refers to wolves rather than elves, overturning a long-standing assumption. There's the ancient book there in that little picture there. Changing elves to wolves makes a massive difference, Seb Falk said. It shifts this legend away from monsters and giants into the human battles of chivalric rivals. It wasn't clear why Chaucer mentioned Wade in the context of courtly intrigue. Our discovery makes much more sense of this. Quote, here we have a late 12th century sermon deploying a meme from the hit romantic story of the day, Seb Falk said. This is very early evidence of a preacher weaving pop culture into a sermon to keep his audience hooked. All right, I guess you have to read this because I haven't read it, so I don't know. In 1896, while examining Latin sermons in the Peterhouse Library at Cambridge, M.R. James was startled to come across passages written in English. Unsure of their significance, he turned to fellow Cambridge scholar Israel Gollins, and together they concluded that the lines came from a 12th century romance, which they named the Song of Wade. James noted that he would publish further analysis, but no additional commentary ever appeared. Interesting. I wouldn't be able to read that. I would need the English translation, and there's always something that changes in the historical and cultural reference. The context of the time changes. That might be the case here, too. Hildebrand is traditionally described as Wade's father. In some folk tales and epic traditions, Hildebrand is portrayed as a giant. However, if the Wade story is interpreted as chivalric romance, as this study suggests, then Hildebrand was more likely viewed as just an ordinary man. And there's a lot more over at this article, and I mean a lot more. I mean, this thing scrolls for a while. It has a couple of pictures, so that'll get me by, I guess. Let's keep going. The next article is over in Non Sequitur News. And if you are over on Twitch or the YouTubes and you're in the chat, then go ahead and ask questions or make comments. Feel free to interact. I try to pay attention to everything, but feel free. Okay, well, this next article is over in Non Sequitur News. Even more shrimp just got recalled because of radiation at more grocery stores. Makes me question what I ate the other day. Alas, nuclear waste may have seeped into a greater share of delectable sea bugs than initially believed, according to this article. Over at Futurism, I think it is. On Thursday, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration said, what? We have a budget to do this? Oh, yeah, okay. Well, anyway, even more bags of frozen shrimp are being recalled for possible radioactive contamination after another company, Southwind Foods, voluntarily pulled its product. Quote, I think they're going to let me requote this. Quote, I think they're doing the recall as a precautionary approach, says Barbara Kowalczyk. There we go, Kowalczyk, director of the Institute for Food Safety and Nutrition Security at George Washington University, who said this to the New York Times. This isn't from the New York Times, though. I aggregated this, or ohmTown and the Gatherer aggregated this. In an announcement, the California-based company said it recalled shrimp was distributed between July 17th and August 8th to locations in Alabama, Arizona, California, Massachusetts, Minnesota, Pennsylvania, Utah, Virginia, and Washington. There has to be more, though, because, it's over at futurism.com in a section they have called Neoscope. Frank Landemore put the article together. A second wave of radiated prawn has hit the nation, and they have these literally glow bugs. All right. Washington State. So, unhelpfully, it did not say what the locations are or why it suspects contamination, but watch out for the brand name Sandbar, Arctic Shores, Best Yet, Great American, First Street. If you bought these recently, throw the stuff away or return it for a full refund. Escalating seafood setbacks come days after Walmart recalled its Great Value brand of frozen shrimp after the FDA detected the radioactive isotope cesium-137, a byproduct of nuclear fission, in shipping containers and at least one sample of the product. According to the agency, the detections were reported at ports in Los Angeles, Houston, Miami, Savannah, Georgia. None of the containers or shrimp were allowed into the U.S., the FDA insists, and no product that tested positive for cesium-137 is known to have entered circulation. I guess I'm going to bring my Geiger counter to the next sushi place I go to. The next article is over in Technology Today. Abxylute, and it's spelled Abxylute, i.e., the spelling bee of company names. Absolute. It's what is it? What is it when you name somebody a really horrible name? I forgot what they call it. Oh, it's over on Reddit. Anyway, sometimes it's funny. Abxylute will sell an absyrde 3D handheld from Intel and Tencent Games for under $1,700. Intel does mobile horribly, so I don't know why this would ever happen. Even at $1,700, the battery life is probably crap. As the handheld PC boom has taken off, companies have tried to push the boundaries of the Steam Deck form factor that Valve helped popularize. Lenovo tried detachable controllers. Acer is trying an 11-inch screen. Abxylute is apparently combining them both and then some with an Absolute 3D One, which The Verge reports features an 11-inch screen, glasses-free 3D display, and detachable controllers, all for under, an so reasonably priced $1,700. I don't know what timeline we're in, but this one sucks. It's really neat for some tech. The article is over at Engadget.com. Ian Carlos Campbell put the article together. There you go. I don't know how it's getting a 3D. Anyway, it's a flat screen and glasses free too. Yeah, I don't understand it. Anyway, Absolute 3D One is based on a hardware prototype co-developed by Intel and Tencent that the company demoed at CES 2025. The prototype, dubbed Sunday Dragon 3D One, which is not that far off from being easier to remember and say than Absolute 3D One, featured a display that used eye tracking to achieve its 3D effect. It's always watching. Always watching you. Oh, I'm sorry. Wait, I'm still streaming. The version Absolute is selling seems to be offering more or less the same features with an Intel Lunar Lake chip, 32 gigs of LPDDR5X RAM, and a 120 hertz display with a built-in kickstand. Like your grandma. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry. The Absolute 3D One will include software for converting 2D photos and video to 3D and a detachable keyboard accessory complete with a trackpad. Yeah, so it's like an iPad, but not. Twice the price. Let's keep going. The next article is over in Four Wheel Tech. It turned into a zoo there. Monterey Car Week sees 22 arrests, 199 citations, and one seized ghost gun. From the sound of it, though, this year was a showcase of obnoxious antisocial behavior, especially after the sun went down, is the statement from this article over at Jalopnik. Colin Woodard put the article together. In Carmel, Car Week resulted in 137 traffic stops, 70 citations, 7 arrests, 13 vehicles towed, 1 driving while under the influence, 320 parking citations. 1 arrest involved a 31-year-old man who allegedly smashed the windows of 2 McLarens, with another coming after a stop for a possible DUI that turned up the previously mentioned ghost gun. Meanwhile, the Monterey Police Department reported 212 traffic stops, 129 citations, 15 arrests, and the arrests were reportedly related to outstanding warrants, reckless driving, driving under the influence, unlawful possession of a concealed firearm, and, well, let's just say a physical battery of a particular type. Assholes. All of them. Let's keep going. The next article is over in Non Sequitur News. Lead-resistant lizards could hold clues to fight lead poisoning. I hear that they're made of bullets. So the study in environmental research found that the lizard's blood lead levels exceeded all previously reported values for fish, amphibians, birds, reptiles, and mammals. Humans, on the other hand, we absorb lead and it goes straight to our heads. Ugh, you just don't want to get drunk on lead. It's horrible. What's astonishing is that these lizards aren't just surviving, they're thriving with lead burden that would be catastrophic to most other animals, says study author Alex Gunderson, assistant professor of ecology and evolutionary biology at Tulane's School of Science and Engineering. Anyway, the article is over at futurity.org. Stacy Pleasance from Tulane put the article together. I don't know if that right there, it's just a Getty image, but I'm going to pretend that that is a lead-resistant lizard that could hold clues to fighting lead poisoning. Lead is a pervasive environmental pollutant with severe health impacts, especially in urban settings, well, especially in humans. The research underscores the lingering legacy of lead contamination in New Orleans and the complex ways organisms adapt or fail to adapt to polluted environments. The brown anoles, or anoles, I'm not sure how that actually is pronounced. I've heard it, but I think it's anoles, are an invasive species originally from the Caribbean. They've been in New Orleans since the 1990s, but their population has increased over the last 20 years, and they're now more common than the green anole. Oh no, something was delivered and I need it right now. Anyway, their population has increased over the last 20 years. PhD student Annalise Blanchett and Gunderson led the study and discovered that the leads could withstand lead levels 10 times higher than the already extreme concentrations found in the field before showing any decline in performance. Then what, they were juicing them up with lead? We need to reevaluate what we know about toxicity thresholds in vertebrates. If we can figure out what's protecting them, we might uncover strategies that could help mitigate heavy metal poisoning in people and other species. They've got a better blood-brain barrier and or ability. Well, they don't have the same complex brain features that a human has, so maybe that's it. As simple as that. Let's keep going. The next article is over on the Wanted channel. One of the world's tallest, oldest trees is ablaze in Oregon. Firefighters have been racing to save the centuries-old Dorner fir since they received reports of it on fire Saturday, August 16th. This little snippet has the same typo that's in the article's deck statement. So Ellen Lapointe put the article together for Gizmodo.com. So let's see. The world's tallest coastal Douglas fir trees has stood within the remote forest of the Oregon Coast Range mountains for at least 450 years. And on Saturday, officials received reports that this historic giant was engulfed in flames. They rushed to the scene, deploying drones, aircraft, hand crews to help extinguish the 325-foot tall or 99-meter tall, 11.5 foot wide or 3.5 meter wide tree. The Los Angeles Times reports when the Coos County Forest Protection or Protective Association first alerted the public to the fire on August 17th, it reported the flames at the top of the tree extending down the trunk. Over the past week, crews have kept the blaze from spreading across the dense surrounding forest, but have struggled to put it out. So the clock is still ticking to extinguish the blaze as the weather warms towards the weekend. BLM officials are still investigating the cause of the fire and have ruled out lightning because of weather data. Forest fires are historically rare in the Oregon Coast Range specifically, occurring once every 200 to several once every 200 to several hundred years. What? Occurring once every 200 to several hundred years in any given stand. I'm just going to move on. Many of the trees have survived centuries of environmental change, but human-driven warming presents an unprecedented challenge. So what happened with this one? Let's keep going. The next article, I'll make this one quick. Four Wheel Tech is where it was aggregated into. Spirit Airlines flew a plane over Hurricane Erin. Promises it was fine. Parapilots decided to brush the edge of a massive storm at sea. They have a strong spirit, I guess. Ryan Eric King over at jalopnik.com put the article together. It's likely the passengers had no idea that the turbulence they were experiencing was a tropical cyclone with winds whipping at over 130 miles per hour. I guess they caught the bad edge of it too. They flew into the whip, so to speak. Spirit Airlines flight NK-2298 flew from Philadelphia to San Juan, Puerto Rico. The route took the plane down the eastern seaboard and through the Bermuda Triangle. The canary yellow Airbus A320 was flying at 37,000 feet as it approached the southern edge of the hurricane near the end of the 4-hour flight. The altitude was reportedly high enough to avoid the worst winds from the weather system, and the plane landed safely with no injuries, according to Spirit Airlines, who spoke to USA Today. The next article is over in the Mobile Channel. Brand new rock-adjacent albums dropping soon. That should be on your radar. It's in the Mobile Channel. Really should be in Smash or Trash. It's a show that I would love to put together. But the dystopian DMCA battering ram that is regulatory capture policy stops me from even talking about it for 6 seconds at a stint when used with music. If I play any music, I'm going to get a DMCA takedown notice. And if I get 3 of them, I'm off. Anyway, New York-based rock band Bloodsport are gearing up to release their album Anything Can Be a Hammer on October 17th, and they've released 2 singles, Rosary and the most recent Calvin, with a heavy, drudgy rock sound. Let's go over to Vice.com. Lauren Boisvert put the article together. Anything Can Be a Hammer by Bloodsport, Worldwide by Snooper, Playing Dumb by Tchotchke, Come Back Down by Total Wife are all drops from, what do they call it? Rock adjacent albums. I wonder if that's like new metal. I don't know. I started listening to some Static X stuff, but not all of their stuff am I a fan of. Let's keep going. The next article is over in Non Sequitur News. Fears about mutant deer with flesh bubbles on their skin are overblown. But look at this picture. Megan Lowe over at Snopes.com put this article together. Anyway, it's a mixture of truth and lie, I guess. Just mutated truth, I suppose. In August 2025, mutant deer with flesh bubbles on their skin had been spotted in multiple states, sparking fears of a widespread disease outbreak. But this actually might be something that is related to there's rabbits out there that apparently have these fibromas that look like something growing off of them. Mutant deer spotted with eerie flesh bubbles. Increases fear of an animal outbreak. Animal outbreak? Not an animal outbreak. Some mutant disease outbreak in the U.S., apparently. This is the kind of stuff you see in zombie movie intros where they say it started out slowly. On August 21st, on a Facebook post, they say this: mutant deer with eerie flesh bubbles. Yeah. There are real viruses that can cause wart-like growths called fibromas in deer, according to various wildlife experts. However, social media users' fears were overblown. No, I don't think so. I'm just going to say it. I'm on the side of freaking the hell out. Additionally, wildlife officials in Pennsylvania and Wisconsin haven't noted an uptick in reports of deer fibromas. I don't care. It's not good. Aesthetically, I guess. I don't know. Plus, if they're in pain, I'd rather, resolve it humanely instead of having them suffer. The viruses are typically transmitted by biting insects like fleas and mosquitoes and direct contact with injured skin. This is from the Cornell University's Wildlife Health Lab. No thanks. Our last article for the 22nd of August is over in Reality Hacker. This extremely cute bean wants to help you stop doom scrolling. Focus Friend, an app to help people reduce their screen time, is dominating app downloads. But can it actually keep you off your phone? The article is by Megan Farokmanish over at Wired.com. And am I logged in? I think I am. Anyway, Focus Friend, a productivity timer app designed to keep Designed to keep you off your phone. Keep you off your phone. That has a your in there. Anyway, by essentially taking it over to knit, has climbed the mobile charts over the last few days. And as of the writing of this, sits at number 2 on Google Play, number 3 on the App Store. The brainchild of developer Bria Sullivan and YouTuber and author Hank Green, it briefly beat out apps like ChatGPT, TikTok, and the now infamous T. Focus Friend isn't the first of its kind, but rather the latest in a growing movement of apps, including Forest, Focus Traveler, Exocus, and Focus Tree, designed to keep users from doom scrolling or dawdling on their phones. Like the Pomodoro method, the time management technique that breaks work into periods of focus and rest, these apps use a timer to encourage users to lock in, tune out everything else. Oh, I flipped the switch the wrong way, and all I'm doing is working 100 hours. For every successful chunk of time, I allow the bean to knit uninterrupted. It makes me socks. I can hear the then broker for decorations. These go straight into the bean's living space, a tiny brown room with wood floors that feels woefully empty of any life. I have the power to make the bean's life better, if only I can keep myself from scrolling. McKenna, a 19-year-old focused friend user who declined to give their last name, agrees with the sentiment, crediting the bean's persona with making the app more fun and approachable. Although they found the Pomodoro method and productivity timers to be helpful in general, McKenna says that they believe that previously haven't been able to find one that they liked until now. How nice. So I am going to focus, friend, and bring us back to the front page of ohmTown on August 22nd, because we are in the time machine and we're about to bounce out of it. We're going to reset and then do the 25th and 26th and 27th, because I am that far behind. I'm sorry, folks. All of this will be posted as show notes in the episode live streamed right now. It's going to stay here. But it'll end up being a separate video over on YouTube. On Twitch, it's just embedded in this stream. It won't be re-uploaded as a separate VOD or anything, because after 60 days, Twitch does me the honor of deleting the content. Anyway, it'll get turned into a podcast as well. Non Sequitur news will persist. The others are on hiatus, except for the news itself, which will be available on Patreon to citizens who subscribe to it. Other than that, everything is still over at ohmTown.com without any advertisements, and we don't spam you or anything, so you can use the site, because I use it every day to manage my information overload, and so can you. And I don't even use ads because, well, Google. Okay, we'll see you in a little bit. Bye-bye, everybody.